Welcome to AP Micro and Macroeconomics. My name is Ken Holland. I'm going to be your child's teacher this year, and I'm very excited about it. First off, this is Blackboard inside my shell. You can either get in there by using your son or daughter's login, or you can have your own. The other thing you want to have is a user account for SIS, which is our grades, so that you can check the grades at any time. I typically will send grades out every other week, but you won't get them unless you have either have an account or if your email is correct in it. Unfortunately, I can't do the email. If you don't want to have either of those accounts, you can email julie.hall, Hall, at fcps.edu and say who son or daughter you have, and she could do it. Beyond that, you just click on the course. We have due dates is the first thing that appears, and there are two ways to find the due dates other than me telling them in class, which I do at the end. But I put the newest assignment at the top and then the oldest assignments at the bottom. The other way is I text reminders to kids who sign up, and most kids do. They get it typically about 6 p.m. the night before it's due. If you know that your son or daughter doesn't always like to do the minimum amount of homework I'm giving them, then I'd suggest you consider sign up as well. To do so, the number you would text is 81010, and then since it's economics, the message is at HalaEcon1. And just pause this and you can do it. You're going to get asking for your name. Just put Mr. or Mrs. and then your last name, and then they'll say thank you. If you've done it before, they'll just say thank you. Snow days, we do typically meet on snow days. We have a very tight schedule to get 2 economic classes in by the dates of the 13th for micro and the 11th of May for macro. So we do it online. It works great. The kids appreciate the extra time and getting it all done. We are doing microeconomics is the study of individuals and firms, and we build the things like perfect competition, monopolistic competition, oligopoly, monopoly, and then we go to macro, which is looking at larger entities like countries and foreign exchange and inflation and unemployment and fiscal policy and monetary policy. And then after the AP exam, we do personal finance. If you go in here, you'll see it's organized. So for example, we're doing supply and demand right now. It's the second part on our first test, and they will typically watch a 8 to 12 minute video at night and take notes. They then have a quiz on that every day they appear in my class. They can use their notes. They can't take the quiz unless they've done the notes because they need to have a basis. And then they have the problem sets, and in class I give them the answers, and they have the answers at home. Most days they can finish most, if not all, the problems in class. They correct them and say how many they got wrong, and then they have to re-correct them. I mean, they don't have to. They could turn it in with a certain number wrong and get a lower grade, but the goal is to get them perfect. So they are grouped in groups of 4, and so they can help each other out, and so that I can run around and help them, and they can, of course, stay after school and get more help. But half the grade is the quiz and the problem set, so hopefully they have a perfect grade for half of it. The other half of the grade is what we call free response questions, where you're typically drawing a figure or graph. You might be doing a little bit of math, and that's 1/3 of the AP exam, and then you do multiple choice, which is 2/3 of the exam. There is no said textbook, although if you want the book that we quote has as a resource, you would just go here. And the kids, I find this is easier for the kids. They just do Control F and put in whatever concept that we're looking for. And then if they want, I do have some hardback books as well. If you need to reach me, you go here, and I'm home phone number, email, etc. And the only other thing typically parents want to know is a study guide. This is the most recent one that covers both micro and macro. I suggest you get it. I don't think you need to order a separate micro and a separate macro. So unless you want to spend more money. But this is a good thing to read, is again another resource. I don't think there's any magic bullet, but that's it. Other than if you have any questions, I would ask you to submit them to this URL, tinyurl.com/holla2015 BTSN, as in back to school night, and then I will answer them and any other ones you have when we meet on September 24th at 6 p.m. Thanks so much, and looking forward to seeing you soon.